Is your little one getting some teeth and you're wondering what you can do to help them and you through this torturous experience? I think we can help each other out. Hello, I'm Cassie from Custom Built Parenthood with tips and a fresh perspective to create your space, parent on purpose, and streamline your home. Today we're talking about how to help a baby teeth. It can be brutal when your baby is cutting those teeth, for them and for you. So today I want to talk a little bit about how to help them, how to get through the process a little bit smoother. Is your baby getting teeth late? Is your baby getting teeth all at once? It can be really stressful. I'm a mama of 3. I was a foster mom for a few years before that, and before that, I got my bachelor's degree in human development and family studies. So kids have been my life. I live for child development, I live for everything parenting, and I'm hoping I can help you with a few tips of how to get through teething. There's not really that much to know, and honestly not that much to do. It's a totally natural, normal process that your baby just has to go through. Every baby's gonna get teeth, and your job as the parent is just to love them through it, support them through it, and just let them experience those growing pains. With that said though, I am a firm believer that there's so much you can do to help your baby. So we're gonna talk about some of those things that you can do. I'm gonna suggest some natural remedies, and then stick around till the end. I'm gonna give a couple of cautions when it comes to teething as well. So the first thing I want to talk about is, when does a baby get their teeth? 6 months is the average age, but like anything, there's a huge variety. So anytime between 4 months old and 12 months old is considered normal. So if your baby turns 1, they still haven't gotten any teeth, ask their pediatrician. They can probably recommend a dentist or someone that you can talk to about all of your concerns. As a reference point, my first child got her first tooth when she was 8 months old. My second got his first tooth when he was 11 months old, and then my third was 11 months old as well. So kind of late bloomers, but it was never something that I was worried about. So every baby's different, but some of the symptoms that a baby can experience are fussiness, crying, a low fever, disruptions with sleep, disruptions with their eating habits, putting things in their mouth, drooling, just to name a few. It's important to know that the discomfort your baby feels getting those teeth is only experienced a few days before they get that tooth and a few days after. The problem with this whole teething situation is you don't have a crystal ball, and your baby can't come right out and tell you what's going on. So with those two things in mind, I'm hoping to convince you to just stop stressing over the timing of your baby's teeth and stop blaming any bad day or bad night on the baby getting their teeth. It is quite possible that your baby is in fact getting a tooth, but until you actually feel that hard pearly white coming through their gums, you really don't know that that's what's going on. So instead, focus your energy on some of the things that you have a little bit more control over, such as getting your baby healthy sleep, good nutrition, one-on-one time connection with you, and time to explore their surroundings. Those are really the foundational things that are going to help your baby through anything that comes their way, teething included. So first, let's talk about what to do when your baby is teething. Like I said, stop stressing. Too many parents are comparing their baby to other babies, worried about, oh, they're not doing this, they don't even have their first tooth yet, I'm sure something's wrong, and they're kind of just wasting all of their stress and energy on something they have zero control over. You have no control over when your baby's gonna get that first tooth. Their body is in charge here, not you. So it's good to have some awareness of these norms, but it's even more important to see your baby as a whole child. All the aspects that make up your baby's life are the things that you should be aware of and have on your radar. I found it surprisingly difficult to accurately predict when your baby is getting those teeth. In my experience, it's really easy to blame any bad day or any bad night on teething. It's kind of the scapegoat, I feel like, in the first 12, even 18 months of life is, oh, my baby's so fussy, he's probably teething, or last night he was so rough, she must be getting in her teeth. It's quite possible that your baby could be getting a tooth, and even so, it's still going to be important to channel your energy on some of the other factors that might be causing struggles as well. If your baby's not getting enough sleep, they're gonna be really fussy, they're not gonna be happy, and that bad sleep is gonna lead to more bad sleep, so that could be something you focus on. Good nutrition, not enough time with you, and also not enough time on their own to just explore and play, all of those factors make up your baby's life. So take a look at all of those things and focus less on the teething things, since you really have no control over that, and focus more on those other things because you do have a little bit more control over those things. You can determine those schedules, you can determine their bedtime, all of those things you can actually do something about. So start with that, and the teething will kind of take care of itself. So in my experience, helping a baby through teething requires having healthy habits, having those consistent routines, and then having some natural remedies on board, which I will definitely get to. So first, let's talk about healthy habits and routines. The best thing you can do for your baby is to have healthy routines and systems in place. So for bedtime, nap time in particular, those are crucial. Make sure you know how many hours of sleep your baby should be getting. Make sure you have a bedtime figured out and that you're being consistent with. Attach a little routine to that bedtime, even if it's just as simple as jammies, brush teeth, sing a song, and lay them into bed. That's a routine, and make sure you're doing that every time so your baby knows to expect that. Those routines and healthy habits will help you get through tough times, whether that's teething, disruptions with the schedule, whatever it may be. Your baby will cope with those so much better when those routines and systems are in place. Good nutrition, one-on-one time with you, and freedom to play and explore are the other things that should make up your baby's day. Sleep is obviously the big one at this point. They're still getting more sleep than probably anything else, but make sure that you are having consistent times that they're eating, that you're focusing on good foods, that you're giving them some one-on-one time with you, so playing a little game, reading a book, whatever that looks like for you, and then also time for them to independently play and explore and just be a little baby. Let them crawl around, let them do whatever they're wanting to do. Just give them some time kind of by themselves to be used to that. Okay, so now for some natural teething remedies. Confession here, when my second was, I don't know, probably like 7 months old, I thought for sure he was finally getting those teeth. I thought I even saw them, I could see the little white that was kind of working its way up. He seemed so fussy, and really for months I was convinced that he was still working on those teeth. I just didn't even know, and I thought for sure he was getting those teeth. Thankfully, looking back, I was never giving him Tylenol. I was never giving him over-the-counter gels thinking, oh, he's hurting, I better do something for him. Luckily, I never did that, because if I had, obviously that would have been a massive overuse by the time he's 11 months old and finally cutting his first teeth. So my big recommendation is stick with natural, especially because, like I said, you don't know exactly when they're getting those teeth. I mean, by now I definitely recognize and know when my son is getting his teeth. But it just can be tricky, and it can be seeming like it's taking forever. So if you are using safe natural products, you don't need to worry so much about if you're giving them too often. Certainly something like Tylenol, you don't want to wear out their poor liver. Like, just don't go there. They shouldn't need any medication. This is a very normal experience. Every baby gets teeth. Every baby in the past has gotten teeth. Every baby across the world has gotten teeth. Medication should not be necessary. So there are some things though that can really soothe your baby and help ease some of that pain. So my number one thing that I use is an oil. I'll link it in the description below if you want. It's a special teething oil, totally safe and natural, and really does seem to help. The second thing is Highland's teething tablets. Again, totally natural, totally safe, and they dissolve in your baby's mouth within just a couple of seconds. I use that along with the teething oil, and they work really, really well. So my third son started getting teeth at 11 months old, like I said, and then he didn't get another tooth until he was 14, almost 15 months old, at which point he was working on the next 5 of his teeth. So the bottom and the 4 top were coming in. I wrote them on the calendar. It was about every 4 to 5 days, so it was fast and furious. Less than a month, he had those 5 teeth in. So he really got teeth all at once, which can feel really brutal, and I'm sure many parents have experienced this. The thing is, like I said, the symptoms are experienced for a few days before and a few days after, but the problem is that there's 20 teeth for your baby to work on. So you're going to be going through this a lot. So he got all 5 at once. So there were definitely some nights where he would wake up in the night crying, which is very rare, not like him at all. In which case, when he did that, I would go ahead and use this teething oil along with the teething tablets. So he'd be in his crib crying. I would just walk in, pick up the oil, start unscrewing the cap, and he would stop crying. He knew what was coming. He knew it would give him relief. All I do is put a drop on my finger, rub it around on his gums, and then I would do the teething tablet. So unscrew that cap, get a little tablet, put it in his mouth. It dissolves within just a couple of seconds. Give him his binky back and lay him back down. I wouldn't even pick him up and hold him, and he would be just fine. Those two things together really, really work for him. So when my son's teeth were all coming in at once and it was kind of getting rough for him, I could tell he was uncomfortable, I would actually do that routine before bed too. So once I did jammies, I would put some oil on his gums, I would give him one of those tablets, and then we would head into the bathroom to brush his teeth. That's another thing to realize. If you're not doing that yet, you should start brushing your baby's teeth. There's special baby toothbrushes that are really honestly meant for their gums, even before they're getting teeth. You just get them in the habit of brushing their teeth, start teaching them good oral hygiene. It's a good thing to get started with really, really young. It's so fun to them at this point. My son knows that that's what we do. So after we get his jammies on, he walks himself into the bathroom, climbs up that stool, and grabs his toothbrush and gets started. What I do is I will let my baby brush his own teeth, and then I'll brush his teeth. And that's what I continue for years until they're old enough that it is solid. Like honestly, probably, I don't know, age 6 maybe. I mean, dentists will recommend you help brush teeth as long as your child will let you, because you want to be doing a really good job. So my baby brushes his own teeth, and then I say, okay, it's mama's turn, and I brush him as well. So another natural remedy is cold. You can put teethers or a little wet washcloth into your fridge. You don't want to use your freezer, but you can put it into your fridge, and your baby can kind of suck on that, and babies can get relief from that. Pressure is another thing that can help. That's why a lot of times they're putting toys in their mouth, trying to bite down. They love your finger. That feels really good to them and is great if you can stand the pressure. Those little chompers can actually be quite strong, even if there's not any teeth yet. But they'll just get anything into their mouth, and that pressure feels good on their gums. So speaking of teethers, it's probably worth buying a couple teethers for your baby. The materials you're looking for are food grade silicone, natural rubber, or natural wood. Those are the products that are totally safe for your baby to be sucking on, chewing on, and playing with. I have some I'll link in the description below. I like these silicone fruit teethers. It's a 5-pack for $10 on Amazon. I also like a natural rubber ball teether. I do use some natural wood ones as well. So I kind of mentioned this a little bit already, but I did want to talk about a couple of cautions when it comes to teething. Did you know the FDA has actually warned against over-the-counter creams and gels for teething? The main ingredient is found to be dangerous and not even helpful. So avoid those. Also, like I said, Tylenol, be sure to not overuse that. The only time I'm using Tylenol for my babies or kiddos is in a really, really high fever. Tylenol really is not something that you should be going to often. There's other ways to soothe your baby. There's other ways to calm them and help them. Like I said, if they're really having so many issues, it might be worth taking a close look if you're thinking that something is going on. So talking to their doctor about maybe some testing or something, or it's just some stuff around the house that you can do. Maybe they aren't getting enough sleep, not getting good enough nutrition. Maybe they don't have enough calming time by themselves. There's a lot of things that can be going on with your baby, so be really careful about using any kind of medications when you don't really have to. Okay, so what do you think? Any extra tips and tricks that you can share? All of us parents are all going through the same struggle. Every baby's gonna get those teeth, and just remember, it's totally normal, it's totally natural. Your baby's gonna survive, you're gonna survive, and hopefully by implementing a few of these tricks, you'll be able to get through it a little bit smoother. Every baby's different, and some babies really might struggle getting those teeth. Some temperaments are easier than others. So if you've got a really difficult child who has such a hard time getting those teeth, just give yourself some grace and know that it won't last forever. It's just part of their growing. Totally growing pains. I mean, that's why they call them growing pains. Your baby is growing and developing, and sometimes that hurts. So stick with it, give yourself some credit, and just choose one of these areas to focus on. Maybe you can focus on taking a little bit more time to have one-on-one connection with them. Maybe you're gonna do a deep dive into their sleep and really overhaul their schedule and make sure they're getting all the sleep that they need. Maybe you're gonna take a closer look at their nutrition. You can be proactive and help them through this process. So I hope you found some of this helpful. I hope it gives you some encouragement. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.